We are the Morning Hustle.
Morning Hustle Show, L'Oreal, Kyle Santillan, Alton Walker. They're not here right now. I am, but I got somebody to fill their seats today, and we're so proud of this young brother, man. He's doing this thing, a young sensation on the NASCAR circuit. Rajah Caruth is in the building, man.
Good morning. What's up? What's up, everybody?
How you doing, bro?
Great, Kyle. How about you?
All good, man. All good. It's been a pleasure just kind of watching you over the course of the last couple of years do your thing in NASCAR, and everybody can kind of see like the growth and how you've been, you know what I mean, just progressing in the sport. You came in 2023, Rookie of the Year, right? Then 2024, 2025, what, most popular driver?
Most popular driver, 2 wins the last couple of years.
Yeah,
so
you know what I'm saying?
My way.
Yeah, so what's the ultimate goal? Obviously, it's going to be to win, but
winning and racing on Sundays for sure. But I think overall, if I can just leave a good lasting impact whenever I'm done driving, that's really what's most important at the end of the day. But I mean, obviously, as an athlete, right, we all want to win and compete and do the best for our situation, and I'm no different in that.
So I just learned a little bit about NASCAR just because following you. Like, I didn't understand NASCAR has these 3 different series. When you came in the Truck Series, and then now the O'Reilly Series, and then what's the final one?
Cup Series.
Oh, what was the first one then?
The Truck Series.
Truck Series, O'Reilly Series, Cup Series.
Yes, sir.
So explain that for people that don't understand what that is, because when you come in as a rookie, you come in on the Truck Series, right?
Exactly. So what's different in NASCAR, typically other sports, right, in the NBA, you have college ball or high school, AAU, college ball, the G, or playing overseas, and then the league. But NASCAR has some equivalents but also differences. So like you mentioned, when you're a young driver, you'll come either into the Truck Series or the O'Reilly Series when you're 17 or 18 years old. And once you perform well enough, then you know a team will grab you for the next level and then eventually race on Sundays. But what's different is that in the Truck Series and the O'Reilly Series, you have veterans that make their living in that series because they go to the same racetracks as the Cup Series and still make very respectable money.
So some veterans won't even race on Sundays. They'll just stay in the quote-unquote lower series, I guess.
But the thing is that it's not really a lower series.
Right.
It's not really a developmental series because, like you mentioned, the veterans are in that series, and it's great because for young drivers like myself, we get that experience of competing against those guys that are at the top of their game.
Right.
So that hopefully one of or a few of us are good enough to make it to Sundays and compete with the best of the best.
So this is your first year in the O'Reilly Series, which is in the intermediate of the 3. How long do you stay in this series before you hopefully get to your Cup Series?
It's really performance-based, performance and partner-based. I think for me, I hope that I can get my first win in this level this year and hopefully add a couple more to that resume since I've won at the Truck Series level. And after that will probably determine how quickly or whenever I move to Sundays. But I'm not in a rush at all with knowing what that schedule is like and the demand of being at the top level of racing here in the United States. And that'll come when it gets there. I mean, I'm only 23 right now.
Right.
Not rushing to get there at all.
Right, for sure. And then another thing that I learned, and maybe some other people listening may not have understood prior, is the point system. Like, you win a race, but even if you don't win the race, depending on where you finish, you get a certain amount of points. At the end of the season, whoever has the highest points in totality is the winner of the season. Is that right?
Exactly. And they just changed the rules for the points format this past winter for this year, and it's a reset to how they used to do it between 2004 and 2013 maybe. And it's honestly way simpler. It's literally like you said, whoever gets the most points is the champion at the end of the day. And for our series, it goes from race 1 to 26 or 25, and in those races, the top 12 people in the points get put in their own bracket, and then we get put in our bracket based off of like the 1 seed, right? They got the most points in the 26 races, and second, so on and so forth. And then the first person will have an advantage, kind of like a first round bye.
For sure.
And then from then on, in the last 9 races of the year, whoever gets the most points wins.
That's crazy. We were having a laugh in the studio because last year when we came out to one of your races, L'Oreal was there with us as well. And she was like, "Oh, I got there. I thought it was just 1 lap." Yo, we was crying.
It's not track and field.
She's like, "How long is this race?" Like, so how many laps do you guys do? Are all the races the same amount of laps, or how does that go?
So every race is not the same amount of laps because each track's different. Each track's longer, wider, skinnier, bigger in totality, and it just depends on the track. For example, at Atlanta this weekend, the track is 1.5 miles in length. So for the O'Reilly series, we will be running 163 laps, which may sound crazy, but the laps are only like 30 seconds.
Right.
So they go by pretty quickly.
Got you. And at the Daytona was obviously 500 laps?
Yeah, the Cup Series had 200 laps because the track's 2.5 miles, so it's a very big track.
So it's more about overall distance.
Overall distance and time. So whenever you see the Daytona 500 or something 400, 200 or whatever, it's typically the miles more than the laps, because 500 laps at a 2-mile track would take like the entire day.
Yeah, right.
More miles than anything.
So let's talk about you getting started, man. We've talked before about you getting your start iRacing, internet racing. You know what I mean? Before you actually sat in a chair. And there was even a movie where they kind of highlighted that process. But that wasn't you in the movie. That wasn't your story.
It was like 10 years before, but it's pretty similar.
Yeah.
I think for me, coming from parents that came to the States from the Caribbean, it was a very similar story to myself. But like you mentioned, I started racing online, where growing up in the DC area, there wasn't any tracks or connections that I had to get in the sport, and racing online was my only in. So that's how I got started and learned the etiquette, the racetracks, the gamesmanship, all like everything from starting from zero all the way up the ladder. And that way, once I started racing in real life and had to cut my teeth there, I had the foundation that I developed from racing online for all those years.
So how realistic is it for somebody that's playing like Mario Kart to like iRacing? You know what I mean?
It's like I'm gonna say it's like literally playing the Dave and Buster's basketball game to go in and try to go on the NBA practice squad.
But then the flip side, right? Because I used to like to play like Gran Turismo.
Right.
And is that more realistic?
That's definitely more realistic.
Yeah.
Same with the new NASCAR game. Like they've really evolved what is replicated virtually from the tracks and the physics and how they move in space and air to the track surfaces, the curbing, the walls, the different types of asphalt. Like that's all replicated online, and it's pretty close to reality.
Nowadays, with this being so much more popular now, I see people online on like Instagram and social media in the rigs for their iRacing.
Sim
it's
rigs,
crazy. Like I've even seen you. You got like the scene.
I got the 3 monitors.
Yeah, the monitors. You got the whole chair that moves. Like you had all of that when you were learning how to do this?
Oh, not at all. I did not have all that.
Oh, okay.
I was racing on my school laptop, my school chair.
Okay.
I destroyed that computer, but I mean, the thing that's great about sim racing is that you don't need all that fancy equipment to learn and have fun with it. I really just had an $80 wheel and my school laptop, and I still was super,
I thought
super
I'm picturing you as a kid sitting in one of those cockpit-looking chairs.
That money wasn't going to that for sure. But it was really, you don't need all that to get started. I mean, I had a cheap wheel that we got from Best Buy and my school laptop, and I split the hard drive on it to put Windows, and that was it.
So the transition from that to being in a real car,
it was crazy hard.
Yeah, you had to apply. Did you have to go to a school? Did you have how did you make the transition?
Right. So I did well enough. NASCAR had some online competitions, and I didn't win, but I did well enough in my 3 months of driving on there to catch the attention of their driver development program. NASCAR had one, and I did well enough to do the tryout or a combine, for lack of better words, where not only our driving was evaluated, but our media skills, our physical training, all the intangibles of being a racer were tested. And I did well enough to make their youth team in 2019, and I raced through the regional levels and local levels in North Carolina. And I kind of went through that program, and it kind of just brought me up the ranks and having the wins and losses figuratively and legitimately of really what the sport requires.
Yeah. If somebody's listening right now and they want to find that program how can they find that?
I believe it's called NASCAR Impact now. It used to be the Drive for Diversity program, but now it's called NASCAR Impact. So I'm not sure where.
Yeah, right. They changed. They get rid of DEI.
Yeah,
they got to change the name of everything.
Man,
it's crazy, right?
You already know. Yeah. So, but I was in that program, and I don't know what it is now, but it was a great deal because it got drivers like myself, teammates that I've had, champions that are in the Cup Series now, and winners came through this program. And it was super valuable to get drivers like us involved, where we all had the talent and the drive, desire, and ability, but didn't have the connections or didn't know where to go or didn't have the resources or means to chase the dream.
Any given week at a race, what is your average speed and your top speed going around the course?
I can tell you right now, I wear a watch when I drive.
Yeah.
And for fitness, and last week at Daytona, my speed was, now it may be a little bit off. It said the average speed was 100. I don't know if it was 100 actually or higher, because like if you take an average, it'll take like the slow points, so it included all the pit stops.
Oh, right. So that's really messing it up.
So it makes the average lower. It says my max was 203.
203.
But I don't think that's a little bit off. I'll say probably like 190, 192 is more accurate. 203 is a little crazy. I don't think that's actually
like
true.
203 and 190 is that much difference, right?
I mean, yeah, for insurance it is. But yeah, somewhere in the 190 range.
So the first time you're in a real car and you're going, damn near 200 miles an hour, there's no fear?
No. I honestly no. Like for myself, the car is an extension of my body.
Yeah.
Kind of like when you're dribbling a basketball, it can feel like you have it on a string, right? And you're just in motion with the vehicle or with the car or the ball or whatever, and that's what driving feels like to me. Feeling the tires,
crazy.
Feeling the air moving around the car. Maybe not actually physically feeling it, but understanding
how
what
you
I'm
move
feeling.
is all affected
how
by
I'm moving, how I'm affecting other people, how other people are affecting me. So I don't think I ever really had fear. I just had I can say that I had fear from the unknown getting started. But I think once I got going, it just was accepting what's out of my control and then focusing what's in my control.
That's crazy. I get in the wrong lane. My wife is doing this. You know what I mean?
I mean,
you're doing 200 miles an hour around the track. It's crazy.
I mean, 75 down here in Midtown is like that for sure. But it's literally like the Dark Knight. You see the Dark Knight Rises and he embraces the fear. It's honestly kind of like that same mentality of accepting what you can control and your response to everything, and having to figure out how to work under pressure.
You ever put your parents in the car and just take them around the track at them speeds?
No, they said no. I really wanted.
Come on,
my
man.
Dad,
Come on, Pops, get in the ride.
I really want to take them on a ride along.
Yeah.
Because it's not, the cars aren't even full speed. That's the thing. They can't make a race car go full speed with the ride alongs with the extra seat because of the weight.
How fast would the ride along be? About?
Depends on the track, but not 190, probably like 140,
Yeah,
130, 140.
Cakewalk, Pops. Let's go.
Yeah, and you're the only one on the racetrack.
Right.
Low risk.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about the risk part, because we do see, crashes happen, and it is a dangerous and big element of danger in NASCAR, just in general. We saw just how the race last week where Michael Jordan's team won, but his driver came from avoiding the wreck.
Yeah, and everybody crashed.
Right, you know what I mean? And even I know there was a couple crashes you had last season where some people were a little critical of you in those moments. You know what I mean? How do you say you don't have any fear of driving, but there has to be a reasonable amount of concern, at least, for the fact that it is dangerous and you can have these wrecks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
sure.
And then how do you respond when people are critical when you're in a wreck?
Yeah, great question. I'd say, for one, you can't go into a race expecting to crash.
Yeah.
Or I shouldn't say that, because certain racetracks, that the risk is higher because we're all packed together, and it's not based off how fast I'm going. It's based on the other people.
Yeah.
So it's accepting that. But not to take it for granted, but our safety systems are super, super advanced with our head and neck restraint systems, our seats, really the racetracks, the cars. I know my team does a great job with how my back is postured, how I'm seated or put in the seat to be, not prone to concussions, back injuries, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And accepting it's part of it, right? And there's levels to being aggressive, but also not, I guess, being overly dangerous,
Right.
while driving. And at the end of the day, in response to whether it's people's opinions or whatever, I can't control them at the end of the day, and they don't really matter because they don't have a direct impact on my team, myself, or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm doing my best at the end of the day. And in the heat of battle, right, nobody's going to be perfect. Everybody's going to have, a place where they would have rather put their car, or maybe they didn't push that guy there, or didn't throw that block. But that's part of it. And you don't go into things and being insanely reckless or erratic. But there's levels to being aggressive and assertive, and I think that's more my driving style of being very calculated but assertive.
Yeah, I feel that. You said you're only 23, even as of right now, right? So I'm gonna read this to you real quick, and I want to get your response to it.
Oh no.
Only 3 African American drivers have won a race in one of NASCAR's top 3 national series. Wendell Scott, who was the first black man to win a race, he won the Cup. Bubba Wallace in the Cup and Truck, and Rajah Caruth in the Truck Series. To be only one of 3 black men that has ever won a NASCAR race, that is insane. And you did it. How old were you at the time when you won? 22 or are you 23?
21.
21 at that time?
21, 22, 21. Yeah,
right.
21.
So when you hear that, and that's accurate, right? When you hear that and know that you're having that kind of impact as a black man in this sport, like what goes through your mind?
It's super special to me because I remember growing up and I had such a deep passion for racing that I could put blinders on to a certain point. I realized that obviously when I was 18 by myself at a lot of these places that I was the only person that looked like me or the only person in my age range. And knowing what that felt like and how much strength that requires from having, just standing on my identity and really my background, I hope that for myself, it doesn't come to a point where it's always just one of the few and it's more normal. I think that's my goal at the end of the day, because for somebody, if somebody like me, in whether it's 5-10 years or hopefully sooner, they can just focus on driving and not have to feel like they have to look over their shoulder, right, about things other than how well that they can perform, then that's going to be great. Because I've had that not only my whole career, but my whole life, which a lot of us can speak for, right, outside of having to do more than just being great at what you do and great in your processes, having to be better than our counterparts at everything else, right? So yeah.
Yeah, now that's what's up, because obviously, there's a sense of pride for people that want to see you win, but I'm sure there's been pushback as well, and you got to kind of deal with all of that. So to be able to say you're able to put your blinders on and just get the job done, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. What are your thoughts on, you're a driver, but what are your thoughts on Michael Jordan and his team winning?
That's
know what
dope.
I'm saying?
I have a lot of friends there at that team.
Yeah.
2 of my best friends work over there. Obviously, Bubba is one of the drivers over there, and it's great to see somebody have that passion for the sport and for our industry, because it's just going to help all of us. And I think it's great. It's great. Obviously, personally, I would have loved for the Hendrick car to win, because
of course that's your team.
They're leading off of turn 4, but there'll be other opportunities for Chase and the whole HMS group for sure. But it's great. It's nothing but positive to have people outside of the bubble of NASCAR talk about it, because that's what it used to be back in the day, and luckily, I guess MJ sold his ownership in the Hornets, I believe.
I don't know.
I don't know if that's
maybe he did. Did he?
Did.
Yeah,
and so it's great because now I can just. Nobody can talk about the Hornets. I can just talk about my Wizards.
Yeah. And another thing, I know we talked about you being an HBCU grad, and I just found out when I posted about you the other day, there was a comment on my page about John McHenry. Is that McHenry? He's another HBCU grad that is a owner of another team in NASCAR? Are you familiar with that?
John Cohen?
Well, his Instagram was John McKinney, so maybe that's not the same person.
Oh, no, that's JC.
Okay.
Yeah, that's JC, yeah. I think he went to Grambling, right?
Yeah, Grambling, I believe,
Yeah, so he has a car or a team that races mostly in the Cup Series, NY Racing Team. But yeah, JC's cool.
Yeah, so we're starting to have more of an impact in
that.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, he's done a great job, because he's had schools like, he's had Grambling, he's had a lot of different HBCUs, I think Lincoln, I mean, I wouldn't be able to tell you off the top of my head. I think Morehouse was on the car too, so he does a great job of involving us at the racetrack, not just for bringing us as guests, but having them involved in this team.
I know it's been a goal of NASCAR to even kind of diversify a little bit, because I can go back, maybe 15 years, because before Terrence J was on 106 in Park, he worked for NASCAR. And they did an event in North Carolina, and I hosted it. And that was the first time I remember, NASCAR is kind of reaching out to HBCUs and black people just to get involved in the sport. So to see and know that I hosted that particular event then, and seeing where we are now, it's like, this is kind of dope. Like, we're getting more involved, so it's a good thing.
For
Yeah,
sure.
for sure. All right, so let's talk about this season, man. You did Daytona, you got Atlanta coming up. Is there a track that you love racing on the most?
I mean, there's a lot of them I love racing on, and I've learned to appreciate every track that we race on because I think it's unfair if you have a favorite because you're gonna let your guard down going into that track.
Right.
But, I definitely have some tracks that have maybe some more of a personal meaning too. Obviously, Atlanta is one of them, and probably Dover as well. Dover and Richmond, just because they were the two closest tracks to Washington D.C. and where I went as a kid. So,
Yeah.
I would say that's where kind of my mind's at, but there's definitely some tracks I'm a little bit more confident going into than others, and
Yeah.
I'd say this weekend's one of them for sure.
Yeah, for sure. All right, your personal life. I got to ask you this because
get it.
we saw a video the other day when Deion Sanders, he tried to put his sons on your lady, but she stood 10 toes down and
she
said,
held it
"Nah."
down.
Huh?
Come on, 10 toes.
Stood 10 toes down
Yeah,
and said,
she held
"I'm
it
good
down.
where I'm at."
Yeah,
That got to feel good.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna plead the fifth. It was great. But yeah, I know it's from all love. So
Yeah, is that difficult though, kind of being in this space now where you do have eyes on your personal life a little bit?
I mean a little bit because I'm a pretty introverted person.
Yeah.
But I mean I know it's part of the game. Like if I wasn't comfortable with it and I didn't want it, then I should have chose a different field.
For sure.
I welcome all that, and I'm not on the page that maybe all press is good press. Because I'm not the type of person to really try to garner a lot of attention in that way. But yeah, I mean, I don't mind it at this point because people are going to be in my business, but they can only see what I share.
What you allow them to
Yeah,
say,
what I allow
right?
them to share. And I control whatever narrative that's out there.
So speaking on the simulator and, everything that you started on with iRacing, what's a good, I guess you call them kits. I don't know what you call them.
Yeah.
But if somebody wants to get into it, what's a good starting point for somebody to get into iRacing? What kit should they get?
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely a lot of different ways to get a sim rig, but honestly, to get started, especially if you're just trying to expose your kid, your young man or young lady, you really don't even need a wheel. You can start with either the new NASCAR 25 game, or you can have your laptop, whether it's a MacBook or primarily a Windows-based PC, and just have it on a laptop. Make sure that the specs are aligned with what's on the iRacing.com website, and I mean that's really it.
How you gonna drive without a wheel?
Well, you can get a wheel, but I don't recommend using a controller. But you should get, a steering wheel, whatever brand you can get from, whether it's your local Best Buy, Target, wherever the case may be. And I mean, that's all you really need. Just the wheel, pedals, and the pedal sets come with the steering wheel.
Got you.
And the pedals in one. Just got to make sure you read the fine print to make sure all the adapters and everything connect. But also make sure you got Wi-Fi. Because you need the Wi-Fi for
got
sure.
that Wi-Fi.
Yeah. But that's it. I mean, it's as complicated as it may seem. I mean, I'm biased, but it's somewhat simple. I mean, just having the PC for it and getting the equipment, and then you get your subscription and start racing at all the different tracks.
All right, so you got some people over at Team Jordan, but we see like in the NFL and in the NBA in the offseason, there's trades and people go to different teams, and you got Jordan team over here, and you're racing for Kendrick cars, and there's all these different teams. Is there an offseason in NASCAR, and do people go from team to team? Like, how does that part of the game work?
For sure. So I would say the offseason isn't a total free agency period. I'd say a lot of things get announced, or a lot of new signings or sponsors or team switching from manufacturers to new ones. That gets announced maybe in the wintertime. But a lot of that happens in the early summer to the summer part of the year just to get ready for the following season. And typically, it's not as much a free agency for a driver per se, unless this driver has a big funding behind them, whether it's family-based or having a big corporation. It's really like manufacturer-based. So there's four. Chevy's the only one that matters. But Chevy, Ford, Toyota, and Dodge Ram. And with those four manufacturers, they'll have their each core teams, right? At Chevrolet, there's Hendrick, Trackhouse, RCR, JR Motorsports, where I'm a part of. And then Toyota has, like Michael's team and so on and so forth. And the manufacturers typically will have the relationships with the drivers. Like I've been with Chevrolet for probably 4 or 5 years now. And that really determines almost the team that you go to because of the relationship you have with the manufacturer. Because for us, the teams are the franchises for sure, but the makes, the I mean, for us at Chevrolet, like our facility has our training, our gyms there, the corporate offices, the motion simulators, the research and development for the cars, the engines, all that stuff is not only in North Carolina but also in Dearborn, Michigan, for Chevrolet, General Motors, and Cadillac F1. So basically, to summarize it, the manufacturers are really what makes the sport go, in addition to the teams. And for me, I've been with Chevy for a long time, and that's where they've had a huge role in getting me to where I'm at now.
So you could be under Chevy, but then, excuse me. So you could be with Chevy, but under Chevy could be a couple of different teams.
Yeah, exactly.
So you could switch teams, but you're still under Chevy.
Right. And then,
but it's less likely for you to go from like Chevy to another car dealership.
Yeah, less likely, especially if you've been with a manufacturer from your youth levels of racing. It's rare that you see a driver go from make to make, which it's not unheard of. One of the drivers at Michael's team now, he was at Chevrolet for a few years and switched to Toyota. And it's really, the thing is that compared to the NBA and NFL, right, where you have a lot of turnover with having an annual draft, racing's not really like that. There's so few seats that the revolving chairs or the musical chairs isn't as frequent because the contracts are different. They're based off of sponsorship, what the team has, what the driver has, the driver's performance, the team's financial status. So
it's even harder to get into NASCAR than it would be the
for sure. I mean,
NBA.
Exactly. There's only 36 full-time drivers, or maybe even 35.
That's crazy.
Right, and that's another point of why veterans usually can race in the Truck Series or O'Reilly Series, because of the limited availability and what that takes from a performance and sacrifice level.
Would you see yourself ever driving in another, I don't know what you call them, NASCAR is NASCAR, but then you have
IndyCar, Formula One,
Indy,
Rally.
Formula One.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself driving any of those other type of vehicles?
I mean, eventually, I think what's cool about being with Chevy is that we have, like I mentioned, we have the Cadillac F1 team.
Yeah.
TWG has a Formula E team. Their IndyCar, like there's a lot of racing under the umbrella of my team and my organization. And I got the chance to drive a Formula E car last year at the Miami infield road course, and that was a lot of fun. And I would love to drive other things for sure, but honestly, like NASCAR is the main thing for me. Like I've loved it since I was a little kid, and it would be great to drive another form of car, another division. But racing is the main, or NASCAR is the main thing for me.
Yeah, I got you.
I will say, since there is a Cadillac Formula One team, hopefully one day it's in the stars that I could do a test session during one of the practice weekends for one of the F1 cars. That would be super cool. But,
put my man in the F1 car, man.
Well, it gave me like a long time. Let me work up a little bit, but I would love to do.
He's like, wait a minute,
I don't have the resume for that, but hopefully one day I will.
All right, take yourself back, man. You're driving Mario Kart. You have all of these weapons at your disposal. You know, if you could use any of those Mario Kart weapons on a real life NASCAR course, which one would you choose?
So I believe in karma. I think karma is a real thing. So I'm not going to be on the offensive of using like bananas or putting the oil slicks down on other people.
Okay.
Or like using blue or green or red shells, because I know it's going to come back to me.
Okay.
So I would just use the star, either the star or do they still have the bullet? Is that a thing?
Yep. Is it?
I
haven't played that game in forever.
Yeah, so I would one of those two, just because it's just free speed. And I'm not gonna
free speed,
and I'm not gonna. I know that if I do something, it's gonna come back to me. So I'm not gonna put that out there. So that's why I'd rather just try to go faster myself and not worried about nobody else. So that's my thought process.
Being that you're going around this track at these speeds, is it frustrating when you're driving in a regular car on a regular street, especially being in traffic?
So, great question. The frustrating part isn't the speed; it's the general IQ of people is like very. I'm not trying to call people stupid, but
right.
The what I think is common sense for driving is not universal.
Right.
So
you have so much more knowledge and skill.
So, and I have to remind myself to be patient, because not everybody, like nobody, very few people race or drive.
Yeah.
And really the level of awareness isn't always there.
Yeah.
So it's more of like when you have a, like, okay, literally I was driving down 75 and I took and I took that exit, the domestic airport exit. We went to the Boys and Girls right on top of Hartsfield.
Okay.
And I saw a fender bender. Like I literally saw a fender bender right in front of me because on the opposite lane because somebody tried to merge and didn't see that they were stopped multiple cars in front of them. So they were slowing down and they tried to merge and get in the open spot. And then they stopped and hit the back of the other person.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, why did that just happen? Like I literally saw that happening for like, it literally was in slow motion as I was seeing. I'm like,
you could tell it was going down.
That. You're gonna hit and then cram.
I would feel like if I'm doing 200 miles an hour on any race course any given weekend, that you can't tell me to drive 55.
Honestly,
a speed limit would drive me crazy.
It wouldn't drive me. It doesn't drive me crazy because you're not like looking at the speed when you're driving in the race car.
Yeah.
Like we don't know how fast we're going till like after because there's not a speedometer. It's just the engine RPMs.
Got you. So
I've had times where I didn't realize how fast I was going because I'm just so used to the overall speed.
You just drive based on how it feels.
Yeah. But the speed part isn't crazy because I can just tell, obviously, by the other people, like with the flow of traffic, where I'm going. But it's really, for me, my adjustment is adjusting to having patience with everybody on the road.
Thanks. I
just because the way I see it is not the way everybody else sees it.
For sure.
You know? So.
Are you allowed to drive a Toyota?
In your personal life?
In your personal life? Are you allowed to drive any other car?
Drive a Chevy.
No, I don't own a Toyota.
Are you allowed to? Like contractually, could you?
I don't know actually. I wouldn't want to.
Right.
I mean, I've had times where like I get a rental car and it's like another make, and I'm like, okay, I can like this happened one time. We were in I think I was in LA for like a non-racing thing, and we got a rental car, but it wasn't a GM car, and I'm like, there's like no other cars here. I can't like switch.
That's funny.
I can't switch. So
which car do you personally like to drive?
I have a Chevy Traverse. I've had it for a while, and it's nice because I like to bike, so I can put a bike rack on the back, but I don't need like a big Tahoe or a Suburban because I live by myself. But when my family's in town, it's great because it fits all of us.
Yeah.
I have a nice car though. It's a Chevy SS 2017,
Ooh.
LS3 engine, so it's great. It's kind of a rare car, so I don't drive it that much.
Yeah.
But it's nice. I can put it. I usually have on just the tour mode, so it's nice, better on gas. But I can put it on sport or performance mode, and it sounds very nice. So
that's what's up. The people want to know who's a better driver, you or your lady?
Oh, me.
I mean, it's obvious you're the NASCAR driver.
Yeah, I've been driver coach for a little while, which is weird because I've always been coached as trying to learn. So having to be a driver coach is pretty funny. But
I can imagine.
And with my sister, on a separate note, my sister is actually a very good driver. Like we at the go-kart place I used to drive at in Maryland.
Yeah, we
went when we were younger, and I'm like, she kind of raw. Like I don't know why, but she obviously is going on her path. But
yeah,
if she chose to follow the racing thing with me, like I feel like she was, just as good as me. So.
Well, since you're doing some coaching, man, my son just turned 16.
All right,
he got a few more hours to get under his belt, then he can get his license. I might have to get you give him some pointers.
Man, all right, no promises, but
that's what's up. All right, so before we wrap this up, man, what is something that maybe we didn't touch on that you would like people to know about Rajah Caruth and to watch out for from you, coming from you?
Man, that's a great question. Yeah, I think I'm just trying to make a difference at the end of the day, outside of trying to perform as well as I can on the track. Yeah, just trying to make a difference for people like us and trying to represent really my villages, whether it's in D.C., where I grew up, went to school, Winston, like where we went to school, here in Atlanta, where I grew up and was born at, and where my family's from in St. Vincent. So really just trying to have my villages be aware of racing and different ways that they can have a career, but also hopefully inspire them to chase their dreams at the end of the day.
That's what's up,
I'd
man.
say that's really it.
Well, we're
and
also,
go
ahead.
Also pulling for all my DC teams this year. I already mentioned the Wizards, but I'm super excited. I think 2026, 2027 is going to be great for myself, the Wizards, Commanders, Caps.
Okay.
All the above. I'm calling it right now.
I'm saying my Eagles still holding down the NFC East, so You know what I mean? We got some
Y'all
conflict there.
Y'all got kind of skunked though there.
You know what?
Well, I mean, we didn't even make the playoffs, so I can't even say nothing.
All right, whole nother conversation,
Yeah.
man. Appreciate what you're doing. Oh, real quick, how can they get your hat and all that too? I know you got your.
Oh, they got it on. I think the website is Shop Junior Nation. So shopjrnation.com, and it's got my diecast and some of them. I'll be signing them. So whenever they come out, I'll be able to sign them. The hats, the shirts, custom shirts, all the above. They're on the website, and y'all can get some merch and get it mailed, and hopefully see some of you guys at the racetrack.
There it is, man. Rajah Caruth, man, youngest sensation in NASCAR. Appreciate you being in the building. Appreciate your whole family, man. Your whole family is good people.
Thanks, Kyle.
All right, thanks for being
Dad's
here.
sitting right there in the
Yeah,
back. So.
Pops is in the building. Get him in the car, man. Get him in the car.
Yeah, if he wants to.
All right, there it is. Morning Hustle Show.